And you can start now.
Hey, hi Ravi. I'm Nadia Wilson with Sheen Magazine. Super excited to be speaking to you today about
Hi.
Skeleton Crew.
So excited.
Yes, yes. So I know your character is more so that dreamer who yearns for adventures. So I want to ask you this fun question really quickly. If you could have one Star Wars gadget or weapon in real life, what would it be and why?
Lightsaber. 1
Yes.
million percent. It's so fun. Specifically, I feel like I'd have a blue one and then I'd have a green one because blue is my favorite color. And then once I got more with the art of the Jedi and wielding a lightsaber, I feel like I'd get more advanced and then I'd go to green like Luke did. Transition.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but no, they're so fun, and Luke was my initial introduction to Star Wars in A New Hope, and he was what stood out to me the most. So, his iconic lightsaber scenes are so much fun. So definitely a lightsaber.
Yes, absolutely. I would probably say the same, or one of the blasters.
Oh, blaster, definitely. Or my
Yeah,
speeder. My speeder would also be so much fun too.
I like that. Okay, okay. And you spoke about Luke Skywalker, and I know you said in an interview that you try to channel him with your character Whim. How would you describe that process for you?
Yeah, oh gosh, just I would imagine, I would have Luke Skywalker at the back of my mind a little bit, his care for people, uh,
Hmm.
his adventurousness. He kind of represents the hero's journey archetype, and I feel like
Yeah.
Wim does a little bit too. So, yeah, really just it was a lot of fun bringing, aspects of Luke into Wim, his, wide-eyed wonder and I feel like Luke's a little bit of a daydreamer too. Maybe not as much as Wim, but I feel like a little bit and
Similar
how,
characteristics.
desperate for an adventure or quest or he wants to be a hero in someone's story or his own. Just he
Yes.
wants to be a hero. That's a main priority.
Absolutely. Very similar characteristics to Wim. I can see that. Even though, it's 4 episodes out, it's like I'm still learning your character, but I can definitely see the correlation for sure. So another question regarding Luke Skywalker. If you were ever to meet him, what do you think your conversation would be about if Wim was to ever meet Luke Skywalker?
I think the first interaction would be we know that Wim is a huge Jedi fan and
Mhm.
enthusiast. So I feel like Wim, it would be similar to the same reaction he had with Jod, except it would
Yeah.
be a little bit different because now he knows he has trust issues definitely by now because of what happened with Jod. But if there was actual proof of Luke being a Jedi, because I don't think it's established that Wim knows who Luke Skywalker is, but
And
if he
that,
did,
yeah.
I feel like it would be, family and friendship would be a huge topic of conversation, I feel like, because they, have similar, how do one another cope with, the circumstances that they're going through. And, I feel like that would be a huge topic. Definitely they have so many similarities. They'd have a great time.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that because I know in the first episode we kind of get a glimpse of that father-son dynamic, and it's kind of like a tough love situation between you and your father. When you have to go back to the proctor, take the exam, like that's I was like, oh man, I feel
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
bad.
I know.
So will we get to see that relationship evolve further as the series progresses?
Definitely, definitely. In episode 8, there's definitely, since it's the last episode, there's
Hmm.
definitely, growth between, from point A being episode 1, point B being episode 8. So
Yeah.
much growth, so much, different dynamics, different friendships. Friendships has evolved. Sorry, that's the phone ringing.
Oh, no, it's
Without a mom, there's nothing really left to lose for.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, there's nothing really left to lose for Wim. But yeah, his dad isn't around too much, so Wim is left to make his own fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's really just he really just misses his mom so much, and it's really sad, and that's part of his motivation to want to go off world and go on an adventure.
Absolutely. So, how does that dynamic shape your character's decision making? Because, you are adventurous, you are going off on your own a lot. So,
Yeah,
how,
I feel like he definitely leaps before he looks most of the time. That
yeah,
does definitely get him into just sometimes, little things like pressing big
absolutely.
green buttons and that get you launched into space. But yeah, no, his he's under the influence that if, yeah, like I said, without a mom, there's nothing left to lose for him. So
Yeah,
why not just go on an adventure? And he really is just so desperate, and he really doesn't mean to put his friends in jeopardy. It's
yeah,
just he thinks that he thinks that an adventure would be fun, and he thinks that that would be fun for other people too. But they don't have the same circumstances as he does. Although I feel like the rest of the kids are going through similar circumstances with one another. I feel like they're similar but in different ways, if that makes sense.
absolutely. I feel like every character has a different story
Yeah,
behind them. So,
yeah,
it's very interesting to get to see how it all plays out within y'all's group dynamic.
yeah.
So, speaking of that, you guys all have a very unique bond. So can you share how those relationships pretty much develop over time and how does that impact the story?
Yeah, well, the relationship with Neil, Wim's best friend Neil, he is not completely excited with Wim's decisions and his influence and pressing buttons that get you trapped in space forever possibly is what they think. And so, he really just wants to go home just as much as the rest of them, Neil. And so, that relationship, Neil still loves Wim, of course, but is not completely happy with the decisions that he's been making. And, Wim's relationship with Fern, I think in particular, changes a lot in episode 4. Fern becomes more vulnerable, and
Hmm.
it's really just 4 is such a big growth episode.
Yeah.
And so, it's a lot of fun to see the not only just personal growth, but growth collectively. So,
Yeah.
all the kids are growing together and on their own. But, yeah, the relationships and friendships definitely change a lot in that episode, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm excited, for viewers to get a chance to see. So just
Definitely.
to wrap it up for those that might not have seen Skeleton Crew yet, in a few words for anyone, what do you want them to take away from watching it?
Ooh, yeah, there are so many takeaways. I feel like so it kind of does depend on the person, but a very clear one is, friendship is a huge theme. Teamwork and stay on your toes. Don't let your guard down.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's so many fun takeaways, and it really is for everyone. There's something, for everyone to love and, feel. And there's so many emotions in each episode that are so fun, and I hope everyone enjoys it as much as so far people are enjoying it a lot, and I'm really loving the positive feedback. So,
Yes,
yeah,
good.
because we had so much fun making it. So, I'm so glad that the fans are enjoying it.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. Super excited for everyone to continue to watch the show and super excited, just to see your success, even after the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So fun talking to you.
Yes, likewise.